Captain Dean Show.
Welcome back to another episode of the Captain Dean Show. I am your host, Captain Dean. I'm not a real captain, but I play one on YouTube. Today's episode, I'm going to talk about a bass that was extremely important to me for a few reasons, but I'll explain all of that, of course, because that's the point of the damn show. So, without further ado, was this bass. This is my 2019 Fender Player Series Electron Green. Say it with me, everybody. Electron Green. Everybody wants to call it fluorescent green or lime green, and that's cool. I understand that. But according to the Fender official catalog, this is called Electron Green. Between 2019 and 2020, Fender put out the Player Series, and they had a variety of colors, and of course the guitars were Strats and Telecasters. The bass line, of course, is not as plentiful as the guitars, but they put this one on the website. I saw this was coming out, and I had to have it. First and foremost, this is my first official Fender bass guitar. Everything else I've ever owned has been Squier or some sort of knockoff brand because I'm cheap. And I also just had a really hard time paying that kind of money for a guitar, because back in my day, when I was young, a brand new guitar was like $400. And now they're like $800 to $1,200, which is, totally fine. Whatever, I don't care. It's just not for me. I'm a cheapskate, a cheap bastard, if you will. But when it came to this, I saw it and I was like, oh shit, I've got to have this. So I got one. Interesting fact about these, they only made 200 of this model in Electron Green. That made it even more appealing to me. So I started my search for looking for one for sale, of course, online. And I came across a couple. And while I was in the midst of saving up my money to get it, which I'll get to in just a minute, I stumbled upon two that were available. I think they were both basically available through eBay. One was in a music store in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, if I'm not mistaken. The other one was available in Lexington, Kentucky, which is a whopping 2.5-hour drive from where I am standing today. It is not that far, and I was absolutely hell-bent on getting this. So in order to get this bass, I sold the remaining of my drum equipment. And basically, I had narrowed it down to, I just had one drum kit and one set of hardware. I had a couple of sets of cymbals still at that point. And of course, all the stuff that goes with it. I kept the snare drums, which I'll do an episode on at some point. But I ended up selling the bulk of my remaining drum hardware. That's how serious I was about becoming a bass player and about wanting to get my hands on this bass. It all worked out perfectly. I sold all my drums very quickly and was able to get enough money saved up to get this bass. I reached out to the store that was selling it in Lexington and was like, I've got the money. Can I pay you over the internet and come get it? And they said no. Why is that? Because this was during COVID. When COVID-19 hit around March or April of 2020 is when all of this was taking place. So the store was locked down. They were just doing online sales, which I thought was interesting because some places were doing curbside service. So I didn't think it was a thing. If I paid over the internet that I could drive to Lexington and get it. I was just concerned about it being shipped, but luckily it was shipped from a professional music store and it was shipped properly and it showed up great. The minute I pulled it out of the box, it played great because they had set it up, and it was awesome. So here is my 2019 Electron Green Fender Player Series P bass. So my big idea when it came in the mail was to immediately take the pickups out and install Seymour Duncan quarter pounders and remove the pick guard. And I wanted aluminum or some sort of brushed metal. And the only pick guards I could find available online were really expensive. They were like $50 or $60. And I was like, I'm going to build my own. So I ordered a clear acrylic pick guard, and I cut out a sheet of aluminum to go underneath it. And that was what I did originally when I got it in and started working on it to, basically tinker on it to bring it up to my specs. And it was really cool, and it worked for a while. And after a couple of shows, I noticed that my sweating was dripping into the clear acrylic pick guard and it would go in between the pick guard and the aluminum. So there started to become like some sort of sweat stain, or it just looked bad. You could tell that something was dripping. And I was like, I'm not going to take this apart every time I play a couple shows to clean it. So then I ordered the Silver Sparkle pick guard, which you saw in a previous episode, which is now on this bass. I put the Silver Sparkle pick guard on this, and that worked for a while, and I really liked it. But after a while, it kind of dawned on me that there really wasn't anything wrong with this bass when it came. So I ended up putting the original pickups back in it and the original pick guard back on it. And I was like, that's why I wanted it. The minute I saw the photograph of it, I wanted it. And then, of course, my brain starts tinkering with, that's not good enough. It can be cooler. It can be better. Change this, change that. So I made a mistake, and I ended up switching it back. So there you go. It is known as the Green Machine, or Slick, because it's appeal. The color was cool to me for another thing, because when I was 1985, 1986, I was about 9 years old when Poison came out, and I loved Poison. I thought Look What the Cat Dragged In was a great record. They brought the absolute fun of rock and roll in my eyes, because, I was a child. And seeing their videos, I thought, man, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. And it looks awesome. I didn't care about, the clothing. I just cared about the fact that they were just having fun, and it looked really appealing to me. But Bobby Dahl had a BC Rich Warlock that was very similar to this color. So also when I saw this available for sale, it kind of took me back to that moment where I wanted, a bright green bass because of Bobby Dahl. So in a way, this is kind of a nod to that. And I love it. It's great. After putting everything back together, I'm really happy with this bass, and it's very well made. I love the feel of the neck. I love the actual sound of the original pickups. They're actually really gnarly sounding. They've got some good bite to them when you play them. So there you go. 2019 Electron Green Fender Player Series P bass. Only 200 of these are made, and luckily I got one. I absolutely love the comfort and the feel of this maple neck. It is so smooth on the back, and it looks really good with the color of the bass. The pin choice on this strap is, I got my lobotomy at Claire's, thanks to my dear friend Cindy. After a few experiments with a couple different pick guards and Seymour Duncan quarter pounders, I went back to the original on everything that came with it. So this is 100% authentic to the way it was. I love the little Fender sticker special edition on the back. Made in Mexico. As soon as I got this bass, I started playing it just about every show that I had between 2020 and 2022. It is a great bass. I love the color, and I love the way it sounds, and I love the way it feels. Do 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 ba do 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 ba do 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 boo boo ba ba da ba 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 do 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 ba one ba 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 da ba ba da 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 ba ba da ba ba da ba ba do 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 ba ba ah do 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 ba do 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 do. Do 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 ba do 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 ba do 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 boo boo ba ba da ba 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 do do do